Hey guys, it's Scott Lapeer here again, smooth as sandpaper with all the charisma of a cardboard cutout. And this is training diary number 10. Can't believe it, we've gotten to 10 of these things already. We'll be doing something a little bit different today. It'll be sort of an intro or a look behind the scenes at a side project we've had going on with Fitness Together in order to improve our Nutrition Together program. It'll be what's called a metabolic test, which I will be able to finally find out how many calories my body burns at rest, meaning if I did no other movement, otherwise known as the basal metabolic rate or resting metabolic rate. So what does all that gibberish mean? What it pretty much means is I will have a definitive number measured accurately of how many calories my body needs to burn just to maintain itself. From there, I can use that number to calculate how many calories I'm burning when I'm running, how many calories I'm burning while I'm lifting with the aid of my Polar A360, and I'll be able to make dietary adjustments to make sure I'm actually eating enough while I'm training for the marathon. Because as I mentioned to my cousin Michelle, you can actually eat too little while you're training, and it can actually negatively affect weight loss. If you're not eating enough, especially not enough protein, you're not giving your body what it needs to fully recover from a workout. Also, eating too little can cause energy problems. It can actually cause you to gain fat as opposed to lose fat. What happens is you end up losing the muscle mass that has been damaged during the workout. It's one of those things where you won't all of a sudden waste away, but you'll notice your delayed onset muscle soreness or next day pain lasts a little bit longer than it had been before. You'll have all kinds of energy problems, headaches, and you'll just crave pretty much every kind of food you can think of. This was actually happening to me a couple weeks ago, which is what spurred me to get retested. I'd been tested earlier in March, and it came back at about somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,800, but this was before I had fully kicked into gear training for the marathon. So not only will it be interesting to see how much it's gone up, which is why Clark wanted me to get retested, but it will also help me kind of plan my diet better and plan my eating better. Anyway, let's cut to Fitness Together, where I'm about to have my resting metabolic rate tested. So guys, I'm in the office at Fitness Together. I haven't eaten all morning. That's about 1:30, which was pretty tough after running 9 miles last night. I'm about to get started with the metabolism test I mentioned before. So this is what I'll be using to actually conduct the test. It's called a breathing device. You pretty much put that tube in that thing and then breathe into it. Hey guys, we're back in the apartment. It's a couple days later because I had a couple technical problems with my Polar. For some reason it stopped syncing with my phone, meaning I couldn't get access to any of my previous workouts, so I no longer have that to use at my disposal. Kind of funny, I just make a video talking about how great it is and it does that a couple days later. So I did the test about 2 days before the Spartan race. Like I mentioned in the Spartan race video, there was a 15-mile run I did Saturday, and then the Spartan race 2 days ago, which is why I look a lot more tan. Some of the results from the test: my resting metabolic rate went up. It was actually 1,700 calories beforehand. Now it's up to 1,900. It also calculated my total daily energy expenditure, which is sort of a rough estimate of all the calories you'll burn. I set my lifestyle work thing to active, and it gave me a number of 2,800. Meaning, if I want to maintain my weight, I should be eating somewhere around 2,800 calories if I'm doing no exercise on that day. And there were a couple other really interesting things that came out of that test. You can actually calculate your VO2 from the results as well. The breathing device actually gives you your relative VO2, which is your total volume of oxygen that your body consumes. So to get your VO2, what you do is you convert that to milliliters, which is just multiplying it by 1,000. In my case, it was 3. So 3,000 milliliters, and then you divide that by your body weight. So mine was 35, which I think is a little bit low, but it's still within that like good or active range for people my age. Another interesting thing is you also get your respiratory quotient. The respiratory quotient is the ratio of carbon dioxide that you exhale versus the amount of oxygen that you're inhaling. So according to the test, my respiratory quotient was exactly 1. And in this case, what this number tells you is how your metabolism is actually working and what sources of energy your body's using. As you know, obviously, there's stored fat that you can use for energy, but the majority of bioenergetics pretty much comes from carbohydrates in a couple different forms. So the lower that number is, getting to about 0.7, the more fat your body's burning. The closer that is to 1, the more carbohydrates your body's burning. So 1 being pretty much purely carbohydrates. Anything over 1, I think 1.1, 1.1 and up, means your body is burning carbohydrates and it's actually converting and producing body fat. That's actually an interesting number. I'm going to do a little bit more research on that, and there'll be a future video where I completely break down respiratory quotient a little bit more. Be on the lookout for that. That's actually a very interesting number, and when I retest it at some point, we haven't quite figured out when, I'll be looking to see not only how my resting metabolic rate has changed, but also how that number has changed too, and whether my dietary considerations did have an effect on it. So keeping this number in mind, just because there have been some discrepancies between my Polar and the Run Keeper app that I use to track my runs, in terms of how many calories I'm burning, obviously now I don't have the capability of the Polar anymore, so I'll be defaulting to my Run Keeper app, which has my updated weight, which is a little bit higher than I want it to be, which I'll talk about later. So in a long run, such as a half marathon distance run I did 2 weekends ago, I can expect to burn anywhere from 1,900 to 2,000 calories just on the run alone. On a short, slower run, say like a recovery run like I typically do on Saturdays or Sundays, I'm typically burning somewhere in the neighborhood of 900 calories. Middle distance run, so this is anywhere from, say, about 8 to 11 miles, I typically burn about 1,300 calories. And on a speed workout day like today I actually burned over 1,000 calories doing what I was doing. But on an average speed day, I can expect to burn anywhere from 900 to 1,100 calories. These totals don't even include lifting, which, as you guys remember from a couple of videos back, I lift and run on the same day 3 days a week. What this means is for me to figure out how much I need to eat to maintain my weight, I have to pretty much add all these numbers together. So I have to take, so say today, burning 1,000 calories, it would be 2,800 plus 1,000 is 38. And then lifting typically burns anywhere from like 150 to 250. So in theory, I could eat somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,200 calories, aka the Michael Phelps diet, and not lose weight. This will actually relate to some of the future content on this channel in terms of videos I'm going to be making in the future, in terms of a goal I'll have running parallel to the marathon. I want to lose a little bit of body fat and alter my body composition leading up to the marathon. It won't be anything drastic, and on paper it should be easy to do. I'm looking to lose somewhere in the neighborhood of just 5 to 10 pounds of pure fat, because right now I'm at about 16% body fat and my body weight's hovering around 190. It's not causing a real detriment in terms of my training. I'm still able to go out there, I'm still hitting the prescribed pace even with the heat and humidity. But it's just one of those things where on a long run, especially during the Spartan race on Sunday, you can just feel it in like your hips and ankles when you've been running, if you're just carrying that a little bit too much weight. I'm not in any real pain, but it's just enough to be irritating, and it's enough to where I know that I'm being slowed down by it, even if it's a marginal amount. So how am I going to do this while also needing to eat somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 calories to fully recover, to fully maintain what I currently have in terms of muscle mass and bone density? It's honestly all about food choices, which is what a decent portion of the upcoming videos are going to be dedicated to. This will include recipes with macronutrient calculation included. That way, if you guys are tracking your macros, you're doing any kind of specific diet, the fact you can use and tweak these recipes to suit your needs. This isn't going to be me prescribing a diet. This isn't going to be me endorsing a particular diet. This isn't going to be about bodybuilding or aesthetics. This is purely just, I need to drop some body fat. Here's how I'm going to do it, while also training for a marathon, making sure I'm eating enough and recovering. What's interesting is this is actually a really contentious issue in the running community. While I was researching this video, I stumbled across about half a dozen message boards, magazine articles, and personal blogs where this subject was really heavily debated. It pretty much stems from body image issues, aesthetic issues, kind of personal issues, and I know a lot of people who do run or do regular distance running kind of as a hobby year in, year out. Cycling, people who participate in them, they tend to have low body weights already, low percentages of body fat, low BMIs, and this can be problematic for them, but that's a subject for a whole other video. This is purely just I have a little too much body fat. Here's what I'm going to do to lose that body fat. So again, just the disclaimers for what this is and what this isn't. This isn't, like I said, me endorsing a particular diet. This isn't me talking about particular diets. This is just me kind of showing you guys some recipes, giving you guys macronutrient info, showing you guys what I'm doing to lose weight, showing you guys a couple ingredient swaps you can make to avoid, the obvious stuff like sugar, high saturated fat content, refined foods, empty calories, so to speak, but kind of the next step beyond all the obvious stuff. Well, hopefully this works. Thank you guys very much for all the positive feedback I got from the Spartan Race video. In the future, I will try to make more videos like that. You guys seem to like that almost vlogging style of making video where I'm kind of capturing stuff as I go along. And that's best suited to when I'm participating in events. So I will be participating in the Clarendon Day. I'll be doing the double, which is the 5K at 8 and then the 10K at 9. That's in 2 weekends. If you're in the Nova area and you want to come out, please come out. You can run it if you choose to as well. I'm pretty sure through Fitness Together we still have our discount for our clients. So message me, connect with us on Facebook for more information about that. Also, there are a couple other events coming up. I'm going to try to work my way in and see if they fit with my schedule. And then obviously coming up is the big one, the marathon. That is in 2 months. So thank you very much to everyone who's donated already. Matt, thanks for your donation over the weekend. Please keep them coming in. Also, feel free to submit questions, comments, anything else you guys feel relevant. The link will be down below. Running Brook's homepage, Fitness Together, obviously. Everything will be down below. The research for this video. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next time.